So when I say sweet, you lick. When I say roll on, you sniff. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Sweet, 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 roll on, sweet, roll on, roll on, sweet, switch, switch, sweet, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on. Oh God. Oh yeah, last round. Are you ready?
Yes.
Sweet. Roll on, sweet, roll on, switch, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, sweet, roll on, sweet, sweet.
Sweet, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, switch, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, 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 roll on, 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 sweet, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, switch, sweet, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, 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 roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on.
You just enter my mouth.
You know what?
The roll on. Yeah.
Sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, switch, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, 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 roll on, sweet, 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 roll on, sweet, roll on, sweet, sweet, roll on, sweet.
Roll on, and I kept doing sweet, sweet, sweet.
Once again, when I say sweet, you lick. When I say roll on, you sniff. One,
You smell
two,
it with your nose.
1, 2, go. Sweet, sweet, roll on. Sweet, roll on. Sweet, roll on. Sweet, sweet, roll on. Sweet, sweet, roll on. Sweet, 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 roll on. Sweet, roll on.
Make my nose.
Eh?
And I put it in my mouth. I put it and my ear pop in my mouth.
Oh yeah. Once again. Get it.